Have you ever seen a house so big? It has a nightclub, 5 pools, and a candy wall taller than your car. No? Buckle up. This is the one. A $500 million Bel-Air mega mansion with 105,000 square feet of pure insanity. It's not a home, it's a Bond villain's resort, a video game map, and a billionaire's fever dream all rolled into one. Built on top of a hill in LA, this monster has 21 bedrooms, 42 bathrooms, and a guest house that's bigger than most people's actual house. You're about to tour the most excessive, over-the-top, bonkers property in the world. And spoiler alert, nobody even lives in it. Let me paint the picture for you. Top of Bel-Air, literal top of the hill, $1 million views, helicopter flying overhead. And what do you see? It looked like a Ford dealership exploded on a cliff. There were about 100 pickup trucks swarming the property while it was under construction. And this wasn't just some luxury home. This was a beast. And the design, one of those huge white modern cubes. The open floor plan, glass everywhere. That minimalist rich guy aesthetic. But it got so played out by the time the house was even finished. Like, it took so long, the entire style changed. You know how Chinese Democracy by Guns N' Roses came out like 10 years after it was supposed to, and by then nobody cared anymore? Exactly like that. That's how long it took to build this place. Long enough that housing trends literally changed in the meantime. What started out as visionary ended up kind of out of touch. And then the biggest twist, one when it finally finished. No one wanted to buy it. Let's talk features. This wasn't just a fancy mansion. It was luxury on steroids. First off, 88 bathrooms. That's not a typo. You could use a different toilet every day for almost 3 months and still not run out. Then there were 7 pools. Not like decorative fountains or little dipping tubs, actual swimming pools. One of them is literally built into the master bedroom. The master bedroom also has its own full kitchen, like popcorn microwave, TV, full bar. It's a suite and a house rolled into one. It starts to feel less like a home and more like a luxury resort in Hawaii. Then we've got a full-size nightclub. Yes, you heard that right. Not a lounge, not a party room, an actual club you could rent out for bottle service. And a movie theater the size of a real theater. Every time you think it's done, it gets more ridiculous. Someone said it's the biggest environmental disaster they've ever seen. And honestly, not far off. The guy behind this, the developer, reportedly had something like $85 million in loans. People say maybe he was riding a little high when he built it. A little gacked up, you know what I mean? And now it's sitting there, with no buyer, racking up maintenance bills like crazy. For a while there were rumors that only a Saudi prince could afford it. That was the whole plan. Aim for the top 0.00001%. But the thing was so massive, so insane, that even billionaires were like, oh yeah, no thanks. You think you've seen it all? Nope, we haven't even gotten to the guest house yet. The guest house, just the guest house, was like your house, my house, and your cousin's house stacked together. It was huge, like 5,000 to 6,000 square feet. And yes, it had an infinity pool too. Because why wouldn't your guest house have its own infinity pool? But it gets better. Or weirder. Underneath that guest house, that's where the staff lives. So now you're walking through this luxury compound, and the developer is showing off like guest quarters, guest quarters, guest quarters. And there's a long hallway, no joke, like a cruise ship corridor, with room after room designed to house the people who run the place. He says you could fit 4 people in each of these rooms and they'd be totally comfortable. Like, yeah, stacked up like logs, according to my wife. That's wild. To live like that, somebody else has to live beneath you, literally and figuratively. And here's the kicker, there's no panic room. So what do you do when your own staff turns on you? Like, what's your escape plan when the people in the underground quarters decide they're done folding your Hermes sheets? And don't forget, it costs around $1 million per month just to keep the house functioning. Not live in it, just keep it running. This developer didn't just throw in some marble countertops and call it a day. He went full mad genius. The walls are so massive that a 12-foot light looks normal. It had to be custom made. Took months to build. They don't just stock 12-foot LEDs at Home Depot. You gotta call Florence, Italy or something. So imagine breaking that light. You're not replacing it with anything from Amazon. You're contacting some glass wizard in Tuscany and praying for mercy. And again, beneath the guest house, under all the opulence, it's just room after room for staff, like entire living quarters. It looked like the interior of a battleship. And then he goes, "That's our wine cellar." Well, one of them, yes. There are 2 wine cellars, and the unfinished one looked like a 100-foot tower of wine. Like, if everyone at the Super Bowl drank non-stop for a week, you'd still have bottles left. It was just a wall of alcohol towering up into the heavens. And then, you ready for this? There's a candy room. Not a snack drawer, not a pantry. An actual candy room. Shelves designed for every type of colorful, sugary treat. But I've seen this before. I went to a guy's house with a home theater. He had the full MTV Cribs-style candy setup. Looked amazing, until I opened a Hershey's Kiss and nearly broke my tooth. Stale. Rock hard. Hadn't been touched in years. It's the stupidest, most unnecessary thing ever, but also kind of awesome. So you're walking through this mansion and it just keeps escalating. Oh, you like movies? Boom. A full movie theater. Actual size. None of that 10 recliner stuff. Oh, you like to bowl? Boom. A full bowling alley with a glass case just for bowling shoes. That's not a joke. He has a whole dedicated display for shoes for bowling. And then of course there's the cigar lounge, because why not chain smoke Cuban cigars in a multi-million-dollar home filled with 12-foot LED lights? But don't worry, there's special ventilation for that. He actually had a guy install tech, so you could puff away without making the place smell like a poker room in 1972. The wildest part, the walls were covered with vintage Playboy magazines, but digitally displayed. Movie posters too, like you could change them out with a remote. It was like walking through a customizable man cave museum. And just when you think it can't go further, there's an indoor pool in case it rains the 5 days a year it does in Los Angeles. Oh, and that moss wall over there, yeah, it's alive. Because obviously in a $500 million house, you can't have boring dead walls. The walls breathe now. You're starting to get tired just hearing about it, right? Watching the walkthrough felt like a cardio workout. At one point, the developer tried to get a helipad approved for the roof. Bel-Air said absolutely not. So what did he do? He said, fine, I'll just park a massive helicopter with no motor on top for decoration. What? At this point, the house felt more like a Bond villain lair. Tennis court, putting green, 50-car garage, and views so crazy you could practically jump from one pool into another. That glass-walled pool over the master bedroom, the walls are 3 inches thick, fully transparent. It's like swimming in an aquarium that's built into a cliff. And under that, more rooms. They had to bring in soil and palm trees to grow grass on a roof, because the top of the house is still the house. The guest house. It's 4,400 square feet with a hot tub big enough for 50 people. And yeah, there's a private running track that loops around the whole estate. No sidewalks in Bel-Air, no problem. Just build your own mile-long track around your mansion. In the end, the whole thing defaulted. The builder couldn't keep up with the loans or maintenance. They tried renting it out for Netflix shoots and weddings. Anything to keep it alive. What started as a $500 million dream turned into a desperate attempt to just break even. In 2022, the one went to auction. Final sale price? $141 million. Still a record breaker, but also a financial disaster. And who bought it? Richard Sagian, CEO of Fashion Nova. The guy behind viral jeans and Instagram bodycon dresses. His place took 600 workers, had candy towers, moss walls, a private nightclub, and a pool above the master bedroom. And it ended up in the hands of a fast fashion mogul who got it at a discount. From Saudi princes to stretchy pants. Welcome to LA. So here's the $1 million, or should we say $500 million question. Would you want to live here? But at the end of the day, the one became the biggest, most absurd, most tragic flex in real estate history. Drop a comment below. Would you live here if someone gave it to you for free? Yeah, but you had to pay the upkeep. Like, subscribe. And if you ever get $500 million to burn, maybe build something with fewer toilets.